So let's move on. We're going to bring in the third member of our illustrious team here. Welcome to the program, Mr. Anthony Handy. Anthony, how are you doing, sir?
Hello, everyone. It is good to see you all.
Yes, it's always good to be seen, my friend. How are
It,
you
it,
doing there? How's life in the small city over there in Oklahoma? How are we doing?
I'm doing. Things are going pretty good, man. I'm not doing too terribly bad. I got tomorrow's my Friday. Thursday morning, I'm on a jet plane on my way to the DMV
Uh-oh.
to go see my folks from the Metro DC that I haven't seen in a few years. Celebrated the baby of the bunch is now 21 years old. He came by and hung out with us on Friday, uh,
Wow.
and he wanted that dish that you saw, the $1 million spaghetti. That was what he said he wanted for his
Oh, yeah.
birthday. So we fixed that for him, and we ate, and we got him a 9 quart, not a 9 quart, a 9-in-1 7 quart instant pot, because like his pops, he loves to cook. And we
Okay.
sat down and we all watched movies, and by we all watch movies, I mean he watched the movie while the rest of us fell asleep. So that's
Well, we do. Okay, awesome. We want to wish him happy birthday then to your boy. That's nice. Happy
yeah.
birthday and good luck on your little vacation. But before we let you go away, we got some football to talk. So let's go to our news and notes segment that we have here on the program. And the first thing we want to talk about, Lamar Jackson. Sitting in the middle of this fifth year, he's here now. They're talking contract extension, but they haven't agreed to one yet. And Lamar says that he's ready to, even if he doesn't have a contract, to play in week one. Now, Anthony, I'll ask you first. Do you think this is a good idea for Lamar to play without a contract?
Absolutely not. Because none of the, I mean, so I want to make sure. Well, let me ask this question. I want to make sure I'm understanding this, because I've been watching football as long as I can remember,
Right.
and I still do not know how these NFL contracts work. Like, there's a
Okay.
certain percentage of the money that's guaranteed, and the game checks they get paid. I think it's they get a weekly game check, and yada yada yada.
Right.
But so if he doesn't have a contract, does that mean that he's just getting paid whatever his scale was before?
Well, understand this is the fifth year of his rookie deal. So
Okay,
this
so he
he technically has a contract for this year. He doesn't have the extension past this year. So
I got
what
you.
right? So what's happening is that he's saying that he'll still play even though he doesn't have a contract past this year, and because he represents himself. And a lot of people are kind of questioning that too. Delilah, I would ask you that question. Do you think that's a bad move on his part, given that it's his fifth year in the NFL, to have not picked up an agent or something now to help him negotiate these kinds of things?
Yeah, I think the reason he said that is because his thinking, and he doesn't have an agent, but the reason he's saying that is because he feels like it'll all be taken care of. Like, he'll sign something, they'll give him some offer before the season begins, based on like what he said, he's tweeted, and kind of articles I've read. Is like he doesn't think it'll go that far, like that it'll take to the first week of the season, for him to have a contract. But yeah, I do feel like he definitely needs somebody, some expert or someone talking to him. But at the same time, I'm assuming that that's kind of one of the reasons he said that, is that they're talking right now. He doesn't, it just makes it seem like he's going to accept whatever offer, not whatever, but it just feels like that this likelihood, whatever is going on behind the scenes, that he will have a contract before the season begins, right? Like,
But that's
it's
what you hope for, right? That's what you hope for.
because most quarterbacks or even players, when they're unhappy, we know about it, right? We see the
Correct.
tweets, we see
Oh
articles,
yeah.
everything's coming out, blah 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 blah. It doesn't feel like in this negotiation that there's really much animosity. It just seems like maybe they're trying to get down to the like nitty gritty final points, like little things that we probably don't think about. Like Anthony says, like, we really don't know what an NFL contract looks like. We have an idea. We've seen
Right.
stuff, like people
Correct.
will release certain aspects, but we've never sat down and read a whole NFL document, right?
Sure.
And so I think the reason he's saying that is because of that. I don't think that they're in a place where he's going to walk away from the Ravens, which is why I think he's willing to say that, right? I think that's why he's willing to say that come first week, if I don't have a contract, I'm going to play. to me, that makes me think that he will have a contract before the new season. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you hope the Ravens
I
take
just
care of
don't.
their biggest asset, right?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
just don't think. Yeah, and everything, like, rumors are coming out that he will have a pretty good contract. They're saying that's going to be better than Kyler Murray's contract, because obviously Murray got a big deal. So some of the stuff that I see coming out from people who are behind the scenes, they're saying it's going to be better than his contract, right?
Well, you got to think too, given what Deshaun, which is going to lead into our next kind of topic here, was given by the Cleveland Browns. I would think that Lamar's going, hey, wait a minute, bro. I'm looking at some money like that. Like, let's talk about this. So again, we do hope a deal gets done for Lamar. Again, he's negotiating on good faith and on his own behalf.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how that ships out. But speaking of Deshaun Watson, we all, know that he's currently on a 6-week suspension for the allegations against him. Again, allegedly, I don't want to get into that. Their settlements were made and all that. I'm not slandering nobody. I'm just saying. But now, as you know, this thing has been appealed, and the NFL now has it in their hands. And the rumors going around, and all the experts are saying that the NFL is shooting for a full year suspension for Deshaun for these, for everything that's happened. Do you guys think, will the NFL, Delilah, I'll start with you. Does the NFL pull the trigger on this and give Deshaun a 1-year suspension?
I don't think so. Okay. Here's why. Because if you look at the rules, Deshaun Watson and the National Players Association can appeal the appeal. I know it's a lot. I know it's really weird, but there's a lot of like rules and whatever. So basically, like, and they have both said, Deshaun Watson and the National Players Association have both said, if the NFL gives him a year suspension, they're gonna fight it. Right? They said they're gonna put in their own appeal and they're gonna fight it, and so this is gonna be drawn on. And the rules are a little tricky about double appeals, whether he could play or not. There's not 100% like certainty that he can't start necessarily, because again, like, there's just not a lot of stuff that's really explained in that. Is why, like, people are like, why is he playing now? It's like, it's a preseason. This is a regular season suspension. So any suspension that happened doesn't like keep players from being able to play in the preseason or attend training camp. Suspensions have to do with like the regular season. And so, like, just to throw that out there, I just don't think they'll throw the book at him. He has said he'll take like 8 suspensions and he'll even take a fine. And so I feel like what the NFL is going to do is find somewhere in the middle of that. Okay. Maybe they'll suspend him 10 games, which is half the season almost. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. Like I think that they're going to find somewhere in the middle, and they are going to give him a longer suspension than 6 games. I just don't think they'll give him a year because, again, Deshaun Watson and the National Players Association have said multiple times that they will fight that appeal. Like, if the NFL decides to go against what the judge recommended, and even like now Deshaun Watson is saying, hey, you know what, suspend me 8 games, fine me $5 million. Right. And so
he wants to play this year,
obviously. And so like it's gonna get drawn out, right? It's gonna get drawn out, and you're gonna have like all these things going on. It's gonna cause a distraction. So I feel like what the NFL is gonna end up doing is somewhere in the middle. I don't think they'll suspend him for the whole season, but I think they will suspend him more than those 6 games. All right, Handy, and they might fine him. They might fine him.
Oh, no, they're going to fine him probably for sure if they do that. But Handy, what do you think, man? I mean, because it's such a situation to me where the NFL could make a statement with this suspension. But again, do they pull the trigger and go the full yard and give him the whole year?
I don't think so either. I mean, and you mentioned about them making a statement. If they really wanted to make a statement, he wouldn't even be playing in the preseason. Not to mention the fact that as much money as Cleveland has invested and guaranteed into his contract, right? You think that if Roger Goodell, let's remember Roger Goodell, even though Roger Goodell is more of a figurehead than he actually is an authoritative figure, he still works for those 32 billionaires.
Oh, absolutely.
And if he says to Cleveland, you know that all that money, the most expensive investment that you just made ever in the history of your franchise, you can throw the first year of that out the window because he's going to sit. You don't think that those owners are going to get together and they're going to start talking amongst themselves, and we may start hearing rumors whispered by week 5 or week 6. All of a sudden, Roger Goodell's not fit to do the job, and it wouldn't surprise me that by the end of the year that Roger Goodell is on the outs. They might even drag it out for a couple of years, even.
Right.
Like there's a whole there's all these layers to this. I don't think they will. I mean, we've talked about this before. The only time the NFL has really said, okay, we got to do something is when it had it on videotape.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And after the fact, which is the crazy part, because they had the tape.
And after the fact, they had the tape before the season started. Ray was out there running up and down the field. Remember, he talked about all I could think of was, "Hey, diddle diddle." Ray writes up the middle, and then this video came out. So I like I said, I'm not dogging the NFL. I'm not dogging the owners, but we know that if they wanted to make a true statement, that Deshaun Watson would not have been able to suit up and go play this weekend, whenever it was this weekend that he played. So I don't think they do. I mean, for me, it's a case of I've seen this episode of this show before.
Right, I've seen and that's the thing. We have seen this before, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised at the 6th game because I thought maybe they do more fines in 4 games or something. But fine, they the independent judge said 6, and she even said she went on precedent. Like, I'm going by what you guys have done before. So that's why she only gave him 6 games.
Exactly.
And that right there shows you, how strong or whatever the NFL has been on this sort of thing. So now you have the opportunity. And again, I wish they would pull the trigger personally. But again, I'm kind of with you guys. I just feel like the experts can say it and everybody can, but I don't think it's going to happen either. And that's the crazy part. It absolutely should, regardless of what Cleveland spent on, money guaranteed. That's your fault then. Nobody told you to do that. So right. But like you said, that would probably upset the owners. And of course, the Cleveland owner for sure, because he just gave this guy all this money. And then, because like you said, I just feel like Roger Goodell, he's like friends with all the owners, and like they all got this secret pact to keep each other happy. So I don't know.
What do y'all think out there, Roundtable people who are watching?
Give us your comments.
Yes, hit us in the comments.
Well, he missed the whole season.
Good evening to you. Spurs up. Okay. I'm sorry. It says Facebook user. I'm not sure who that is.
I know. I don't see it either.
I apologize.
But yeah, what do you think?
Kate was watching. Kate said hello. Sean said hello.
Woo, hey, everybody.
Said hello. Right.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. Everybody. We appreciate you watching. Hey, absolutely.
And by the way,
without you, we're just talking to each other.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, if you're watching this right now, go ahead and hit the like button. If you're watching it on YouTube,
Will.
hit the subscribe button.
Oh, okay.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button to the channel.
Right.
And definitely share this with you. I know there's more people besides the Let's Talk Football family that like football. Share it anywhere, share it any and everywhere that you can share it, because every interaction with these videos pushes the algorithm, and then after a while you start seeing more views and more things, and that'll allow us to do some more stuff.
That's right. So, couldn't have said it better, my friend.
Will said anything less than a season means he's going to have to pay them. He said he's willing to pay. Like, does that mean he's willing to pay? Yeah. So, like, I know he said $5 million, but I bet you, like, if the NFL said we're going to suspend you for 10 games only, and you're going to be fined like $20 million, whatever it is, he's 100% going to take that. Like, he's going to take the deal as long as they don't suspend it for the season.
Because he's still got the biggest guaranteed contract in the
NFL.
Yeah. Right. I mean, granted, Pat Mahomes has the biggest contract, but he's got the biggest guaranteed contract.
Right. Remember, like, even when he was sitting out in the Texans, right? Remember, I think people forget he sat out a whole season and a half. He got paid. He got paid. He was paid that whole time because there was no, and so, like, again, I don't think like he'll have a problem with that. Like, I agree with you, Will. Like, I think the NFL is furious, but I just don't know if they want to draw it out. Like, I just don't know if they want to draw out a season fight with this guy.
Yeah, the appeals could take forever. All, it could be a mess. It really could be a mess, and that's the thing.
You know what though? Every single one of us is like, oh man, the day is paying me 7-8 figures a year to sit on my butt. I gladly sit on my butt, but it still means you got to go to work. I don't know. Hey, come on, man.
Well,
you still got to get up.
Yes, you do.
And it's not like, and this ain't like no job where you can just put on a button down, a pair of chinos, and a couple of socks.
Right, you still gotta go out there and train. You gotta
go. You gotta go to work. You gotta go to practice.
Put in the work.
Oh,
Yeah.
You gotta show up. You gotta show up get on the plane, take the trip. You gotta go to the locker room, put on all that gear. I played football. Right. It is not fun,
right?
Getting out of that gear after you've been running up and down the field in it for 3 hours.
That's why they're compensated well, my friend. That's why.
I know. I agree with you, Sean Spencer. It's not the right message.
Oh no, we just telling you what we think they're gonna do, which is exactly what they have done in the past.
We don't agree with it either, sir. But yes, it does send a bad message. I agree with you. It's terrible. It really is. Well, let's move on from that because we all know how we feel about old Deshaun there. Last thing in news and notes that we're going to get to here. Our boy Zach Wilson, New York Jets, got injured. Had arthroscopic knee surgery today. They said it was a success, but they don't want to bring him back until he's absolutely ready, they say. So your week 1 starter more than likely will be, drum roll for everyone, Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, ladies and gentlemen. Starting for the New York Jets probably week 1. Now, here's my question about this. Because I get it, Zach Wilson, second year, kid showed some flash last year, yada, yada, yada. He's got some offensive weapons now that they got in the draft with the running back and receiver and all this. But come on, you go with the hot hand, don't you? What if Joe Flacco comes out week 1 and lights it up? Not that he will, but Joe Flacco comes out week 1 and absolutely lights it up. Do you go, that's interesting? Or what some of the other critics are talking about and our experts that you hear on sports radio and all that, television, if it's going to be a longer thing, do you then explore the option of one Jimmy Garoppolo who's sitting out there waiting to go to a team after losing his job to Trey Lance? Delilah, we'll start with you. What do you think about this whole, and again, this could be premature, but this is why this is fun. What do you think about this whole situation there in New York?
I think it's sensible. Okay, I'm going to go out and say, I think it is sensible to let this guy get his knee surgery taken care of and let him heal because I don't remember. It's a longer football season now. Mm-hmm. There is no reason to send out your starting quarterback and then mess up the knee permanently, right? Again, we're happy it's not an ACL, right? We're happy it's not a more serious knee injury as we've seen because there's other players that we know that we've been paying attention. They're out for the season. So I believe it is sensible for them to actually sit him out that first week and go, you know what, Flacco, go out there, do your thing, let this kid heal. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I don't think it'll be lights out with Flacco. I know he carried the team to the Super Bowl and he had his 10 minutes, 15 minutes of fame or whatnot. I know we've all had conversation about Super Bowl wins, but whatever you think, we know that people look at it as a big deal. Okay, whatever you feel about the quarterback, fact is this man has a Super Bowl win, right? Let's just get that out the way. So
let's get that out of the way, right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, though. So does Martin Brunell.
I don't know.
Martin Brunell.
Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't a starting quarterback.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that makes him elite, but it is Flacco, right? He's got that personality, right? People know who he is. The only people who know Brunell is people who pay attention to the really specific football. Right. But everybody knows who he is, right? So basically, I still think it's smart to not send Wilson out there week 1. It doesn't make sense because then what happens? What if he does go out there, he gets tackled, or something? Boom, done. Then he's out for the season. Now you're out. You're starting quarterback, right? So for me, it makes sense. And whatever you may think about Flacco, at least he's ready to go in. At least he knows the plays, right? At least he knows the team. At least he knows what needs to be done, right? He knows what it means to be under pressure. So whether you like it or not, at least he actually understands what that means, what it means to play in the NFL, right? What it means to play in a game. I don't think he'll take over the team, but at least he's there, I don't see that happening, right? I don't see that happening. I really don't think that he'll go in and take over that team. but at
Right.
least he's there. You can, I think what the Jets want is that at least if you could hold their season together, till Wilson could come back, you know what I mean? So like,
No, I got you.
it's really all they want. So we'll see what happens, but
Andy,
it makes sense. Go ahead.
Andy, I got a question for you. No,
Yes,
because
sir.
in second part of that, I was just saying, they're saying 2 to 4 weeks recovery and all this, but again, it's a knee injury. It's a serious thing. He had it. He had the surgery done. You want him to rest and relax. If it goes too long, do you consider bringing in Jimmy Garoppolo, who is sitting out there, who's proven that when he does play, he can win? But I mean, again, or do you stick with Flacco in the meantime and just take the veteran quarterback and there you go?
I've been saying this for a couple of seasons now. Jimmy Garoppolo is the best injury-prone quarterback in the NFL. Okay, Jimmy Garoppolo is Mr. Glass. I want to say yes, but I mean, Garoppolo has gotten to the point where let's say they're playing Philly and Kobe Dean misses the sack.
Right.
Blows by him, and the wind from him blowing by Jimmy G knocks him over. He's going to tear his Achilles. He's going to dislocate his pinky, and he's going to lose 3 of his baby teeth.
There it is.
That's just the guy. And I'm not even trying to make a joke. I'm being serious. That's just how fragile this kid is.
I know.
So do you want to even
not
give
funny,
this
but
kid,
yeah, I get it.
I mean, but do you want to give? And I feel bad for him because he's not talented as a quarterback. But do you want to give somebody that, I mean, whatever kind of money he might want to come and get hurt, and then you got to, whatever you guaranteed him, you got to pay him. Now, as far as Joe Flacco, my jury's out on Joe Flacco. I mean, I knew who Joe Flacco was, but I wasn't really paying him any mind until he started racking up all these stats on the way to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I'd be damned if, you can't convince me that Joe Flacco didn't play the long game, came in and played just good enough to stay in the starting quarterback, and then he turned around and pulled the usher. Watch this, and then he had that Super Bowl season, and then he was like, "Hey, contract time, give me my money," and they gave him the money, and then he went back to. He said, "Watch this," and then he disappeared back in. You know what I mean? Like I don't. And now he's like he's an elder statesman of the NFL.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Joe Flacco's been around a long time.
I mean,
that Super Bowl was many years ago, my friend.
Yes. Dude, I don't even think I was looking at 50 then. I think I maybe just turned 40. I might have been graduating high school. I don't know. But right. He's been anyway. But I mean, I exaggerate, but in terms of NFL play, I know he's not a lineman or a running back that takes a lot of beating and bruising. But still, look, like the saying is, today's price is not yesterday's price is not today's price. Right. Yesterday's quarterback arm is not today's quarterback arm.
Correct.
Right.
We all remember we remember what happened to one of the greatest gunslingers in the modern era, Brett Favre. It got to a point where it just got to the point where it's like, yep.
I want to answer this question though, because this
I agree with you, Sean.
Without Wilson makes a need for a new quarterback.
I
want to answer. I'm sorry. I'll get you.
No, please. No, go ahead.
I want to answer this because I feel like, given the way the AFC is structured, if the Jets have any hope to make a push, if Wilson is out 3 to 4 weeks, I would get somebody else in there. Because I'm telling you, you can't afford to fall behind in the AFC this year. There's a lot of powerhouse teams, and there's a lot of teams with really good quarterbacks in the AFC, which we're going to talk about that later as well. And I just think, and again, he's not saying he's going to be out that long, but you're rehabbing an injury. But sometimes people get hurt when they're rehabbing the injury again, or something happens, or they tweak something, or something. He goes back to practice, and something. You gotta make sure. That's why I say, depending on how he does in recovery, will tell a whole lot. And I'm just saying, it's a hypothetical right now because it's only season, week 2 of the preseason. But I think in the back of your mind, you got to consider the possibility if something like that happens. What do you do? Do you make the move or you stick with Flacco? That's all I'm going to say about that.
No, I agree with
Lila,
you.
You were saying?
No, I actually agree with you. And I'm laughing because someone said trade for Sam Howell. No, because I can see Sean in the comments, so I don't know who the Facebook user is. But that's kind of funny.
User, right?
I don't know.
Just says Facebook user.
I don't know who that is, but that's kind of funny because we all know Sean Spencer loves Sam Howell. So the fact that someone's like trade for him,
so yes,
that's still Will.
That's why he asked by Daz Newsome earlier because he's a Carolina boy.
Wait a minute, Nick. Can you go back a couple of comments?
I know, it's a lot of
Can you highlight Kate's comment again?
Which one about the mom and she'll take care of Zach Wilson?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I left that up there for a while just for that reason. Way to go.
I was gonna say, Kate. I don't think that Mr. Smokey Smooth and Mr. and the massive piece of magic
TB12
would and TB12 would
jumping on the
you
Zach Wilson
two-timing.
train.
Appreciate you two-timing. It's like, look, Zach Wilson has become the Podrick Payne of the NFL. For those of you, that Game of Thrones reference for you right there.
Oh wow.
It's like,
there it is.
whoo, like the ladies are like, hey, but
you can say Stifler. Stifler's mom. Hello.
Stifler's. Oh wow. Wait, now we're going there with Kate. Oh, good lord.
No,
the show is coming off the rails quick.
Hold on. We not no. Hold on a second. We're not gonna do that. Don't do that to me today, Skip Bayless. I'm not gonna do that. Kate, that's not what I'm saying. I was just making a little jokey joke because Kate got a nickname for all the young quarterbacks. You know what, Kate?
She does.
That needs to be a segment on the Lady Show.
I heard the nicknames for all the young quarterbacks.
By the end of the season, there needs to be a nickname for every young quarterback in the league.
Funny. Oh, by the way, it was David that said trade Sam Howell. Come on, Will's not going to say that. He's a Commanders fan.
Right. That
was David. David is saying that they should trade for Sam Howell.
Excuse me, boo boo. I'm looking at the feed, and it say Will Kramer right there. Trade for Sam Howell.
Oh, it says it's David. I don't know. Samuel Kramer. Whose Facebook user is?
I'm getting his Facebook user on this end, so I greatly apologize for who that is. We're
y'all are gonna have to non-anonymize yourselves. Anonymizations.
Anywho.
That's what he said.
Yeah, look,
right, I actually
move on from all of I agree with Nick though. I don't think that they'll get a quarterback right away, but I think a few seasons in, if the Jets have a losing season, regardless if they think they can make an AFC run, I get it, but they think they can, and I get it because they actually did a good job this offseason. They really have a nice core, right? They actually got a lot of strong guys, strong talent, and I don't think they want to let that go to waste. So I don't think that they're going to let the opportunity go. So I think a few seasons in, if Wilson can't come back and they're seeing the writing on the wall, I think that's when they'll trade for a quarterback. Not yet, but I think that's when they'll make a move a little later in the season.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.